just arrived at Maddox Gallery Mayfair to check out the Connor Brothers 10-year anniversary exhibition that's open across all 3 of Maddox Gallery's London exhibitions. I'm here with the lovely Maeve Doyle, our artistic director.
Hi, Jay. Thank you. Can you believe 10 years of them and 5 years with Maddox?
Yes, indeed, yeah.
Let's not waste another moment. Let's go in and have a look at the show. Oh, it looks amazing.
So we've got the Pulp Fiction series in here, Maeve.
Looks great, doesn't it? Why do I never get tired of it?
I love this series. This was what made me fall in love with the Connor Brothers, actually.
And it's that instantly familiar but nostalgic feel to them. You think you've seen them before. Then there's that tie to Warhol as well.
Yeah. There was a quote from Warhol that actually, in part, was their inspiration for this series. I think it's about the dime books, and essentially that those dime books are a piece of art, and one day they're going to be in a museum.
They'd be the masterpieces, yeah.
I'm not sure if that was what inspired them, but it was certainly part of the journey for them in terms of why they did this series.
What's your favorite?
Well, it feels apt that we've stopped on this one because actually this is probably my favorite, but it's my favorite because I feel like this is very much Maddox. Why fit in when we were born to stand out?
It's very inspiring and confidence building, and it's bold. Look at these.
I adore the Pulp Fiction series.
Yeah, me
But
too.
if there's one thing that's missing from the Pulp Fiction series, it's that there's no diversity to it, right? And that's reflective of, because the Pulp Fiction series obviously has repurposed book covers from the 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
It's what you expect. But what they did with the true fiction is instead of repurposing old covers, they decided to create their own. They had to find the models, photograph the models, and then paint them. It was a much more difficult process than just repurposing an old book cover. But by creating their own, what it allowed them to do was to use models that are far more representative of the world that we live in now.
Well, they've always been chroniclers of the time we live in.
Indeed.
And taking on that challenge, challenging beauty norms and stereotypes, is enormous.
Yeah.
So I really respect them for it. I like this series too. Do you know what else I like about it? The paint marks.
Me
There's
too.
suddenly a painterly,
Very much so.
expressionistic
Yeah.
component to it. It's not
Yeah.
a graphic finish. Oh, look at this. True love stories. It really was the beginning of everything. And then it kind of moved on to assembling pieces like this.
Dr. Victor Schroeder.
Yeah, when they were experimenting with another persona. They were looking for different ideas from Dutch masters and vanitas. But what's really interesting is this year, the lockdown studies.
I really, really love the studies.
Inside the creative process, I think they're really dynamic.
And you find yourself staring and standing in front of them for such a long time, just noticing all the little details, reading the notes, noticing the tea stains. Really a big fan of these pieces.
Do you remember when they did Refugee Chic?
Of course.
When they went with Banksy down to Calais and sort of supported. They're not often seen, but they're talked about as really important political pieces.
So important, because that's exactly what it is, political activism.
Yeah, which I think is always underpinning most of their work, this kind of breaking down conventions and what we're conditioned to believe and morals and principles. They do it with a soft touch, but this is strong.
Do you know the bastardized oils actually predate the Pulp Fiction series?
No.
Yeah, so they've made these for the best part of the last 10 years. Just sporadically though, this is the first time it's ever been shown as a collection. They've been, piece by piece, making these bastardized oils, more actually as a piece of fun for them. But I think actually as a collection of work, it looks great, and it's so different from what we've seen from the shows that we've done of their work before, which I also love, for obvious reasons.
When I saw the regression series, it felt like I went into a class of creative geniuses.
Well, it's such a departure as well from everything that we've ever seen from them, right?
So brave.
So brave.
And so worth the effort.
Yeah.
They turned their criticism and speech about mental health issues onto themselves, and they were vulnerable enough to do automatic drawing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And show it.
Yeah.
It's a history of so many artists that are successful finding themselves in those periods, like Kusama, Van Gogh, and to a certain extent Basquiat. And you see in the line drawings, they're expressing emotion.
There's a real movement for those types of work at the moment. Why do you think that is?
People want to connect with other people. I think lockdown made people want to connect.
What I love about this exhibition, which is the first time we've done an exhibition across all of our London galleries, which says a lot about, how much we love the Connor brothers. But what I particularly am fond of is seeing 10 years of work. And, a number of those bodies of work are so uniquely different from the others.
But what it also speaks to is their knowledge of art history. They can move from genre to genre, and they understand it. They've got a deep understanding of the art-making process, as well as a good sense of humor. And from my point of view, they align with what Maddox is. Just a little bit on the outside, non-pretentious, but still with a strong impact.